Hey everybody, it's Pax. Welcome back to the campaign play-along for Path to Carcosa, Scenario 3, Echoes of the Past. We just finished up torching everyone at the end of the dinner party that we attended, and now we're headed to the Historical Society to see what is up with the director Nigel Engram. And let's take a look at our deck building for Leo and Ursula. So Ursula's is pretty straightforward here. I am taking a magnifying glass and an archaic glyphs, and putting in a magnifying glass and an archaic glyphs. At the end of my last scenario, I misspoke. I said that I had 8 experience between, or each. What I meant was 8 experience between them. So that's 4 total. And then over here on Leo, I'm picking up a single copy of Charisma, and I'm dropping 1 Stand Together for an Ever Vigilant. I consider dropping the Emergency Cash instead, but I think Ursula's been ending most scenarios with like $1 million, and I don't know that I need to hand her 2. Might be more useful to keep cards that keep Leo a little richer. We did interrogate Sebastian, so after we put the entry hall into play, we'll be putting 2 clues on it. And I've already done the scenario setup here with my historical societies. These are the ones that are getting removed from the game. Chaos Bag is pretty forgiving at the moment, where skulls are 0s and cultists are -2s. If you fail, place a doom on the nearest enemy. Those should be pretty easy to dodge. As part of the setup, we'll be placing a Seeker of Carcosa enemy in play at one of the Historical Society locations on the 3rd floor. So we'll be spawning him here at this Historical Society, and when an enemy spawns at this location, we have to reveal the location. Which is a 3 Shroud, 2 Clue location, the Historical Library. Reaction: after you successfully investigate this location, you may take 2 Horror to discover 1 additional clue at this location. Limit once per round. And this guy is aloof, and at the end of the Mythos phase, you move a clue from his location to him, and if you cannot, you place a doom on him. And the main conceit, again, of the scenario is that we're skipping the placing a doom on the current agenda step of the Mythos phase, but we have a forced effect that after clues are placed on an enemy, you flip those clues to their doom side. So those guys will be flipping clues onto them as doom. And we have a 4 doom threshold, and we have a 2 per investigator clue threshold. Now let's take a look at opening hands. Oh, that's a pretty interesting one for Ursula. Disc is kind of nice, but I don't think people actually spawn on us in this scenario, so I'm going to tuck that away. And burning the Midnight Oil is not that useful if I don't have a lot of high-costed things in my hand. Magnifying Glass might be useful to keep 2 of, but I feel like 1 is good enough. And I think that's what we'll do. Okay, cool. Archaic Glyphs and Witten. Ooh, the upgraded Witten, too. That's nice. No tomes or relics to get the bonus out of her. Maybe I should have kept that disc, but we'll see. And then for Leo, not bad. Definitely not bad. A little pricey and no money, but this is pretty good for being able to kill that Seeker of Carcosa pretty early. I think I'm going to ditch Lonnie, and I think I'm also going to regrettably ditch the Safeguard. I do have another one, and I think that, generally speaking, I need more money than I need the action efficiency. Yeah, but you know what? That's also pretty good. Alright, so we're about to start our first turn, and we kind of have some choices to make. Leo's probably going to be playing that Beat Cop and heading straight up to the top level. He wants to get rid of this Seeker of Carcosa before he can get a bunch of doom on him. At least not enough to finish off the first agenda there. And I think Ursula's happy to just kind of explore around getting some clues. So to that end, I think we're just going to do Ursula first. First things first, she's going to slap that magnifying glass into play, because it doesn't cost anything at all. And then she's going to take a move action over to this Historical Society. We get to the Historical Museum. While investigating this location, your intellect cannot be increased. Okay, well, that's fine. So we'd be testing 4 against 2, which I'm happy to do because that beats me, the cultist, and the skull right now. So we'll go ahead and use her reaction to do an investigate there. 4 against 2. -4. Okay, that fails. And then we'll go again, using a Burning the Midnight Oil to gain 2 resources. 4 against 2. Okay, that succeeds. And then we'll go ahead and do one more investigate, 4 against 2. That succeeds, and we get to move after the effect is done, where we'll just head right back to the entry hall and then give Leo's turn a go. So Leo's going to go ahead and use his ability to play Beat Cop for 1, 2, 3. Then he's going to take one move action to the quiet halls on the second floor. It's a 3 shroud, connected to each other's second floor. If each location in play is revealed and there are no clues on locations in play, placed 2 clues on the quiet halls from the token bank. He's going to take another move action up to the quiet halls on the third floor, which is the exact same thing except third floor traded. And then he's going to take 1 resource. So we'll do upkeep on Ursula, getting Jake Williams. That's pretty cool to see. And upkeep on Leo. Bottom blood. You must either discard an ally asset from your play or discard each ally asset from your hand. Well, good a time as any to get it, I guess. We skip the place Doom step of the Mythos phase. And then we get an encounter card for Ursula. Place 2 Doom on the nearest cultist enemy. If there are no cultist enemies in play, search the encounter deck and discard pile for a cultist enemy and draw it. That is a bit of a bummer. And then Leo gets a locked door to the location with the most clues. Yuck. Well, that's going to be plopping down on that historical society as well. And then at the end of the Mythos phase, this clue is going to get flipped over to a Doom on him. So we have 1 turn left to deal with this guy. Now, that doesn't really leave us a ton of options on how to deal with him, because that really only gives me move, engage, fight. And that means that Leo will have to move, engage, and then fight with a vicious blow and an overpower. Now, that does put him at like 8 against 2. I guess he could be 6 against 2 with just the vicious blow, so that wouldn't be necessary. And then I'd need to use the Beat Cop to finish him off. And I think that that's a reasonable turn. So we're going to go ahead, do the move, do the engage, and then do an attack. So we're going to be fighting him for 4, 5, committing this for 6 against 2, -4. So there's our 2 damage, and then we tap our Beat Cop to deal the 3rd damage, and he gets defeated. Now over to Ursula. I'm going to go ahead and do some stuff before I take any actions, which is going to be first to play 1, 2, 3 Jake Williams, get some card draw out of him. And then second, 1, 2 for Archaic Glyphs. And then finally, we're going to take a move action over to this Historical Society, revealing the Record Office. Each enemy at this location gets +1 fight and +1 evade. And now we're going to use Ursula's triggered ability to get an Investigate action. We're going to be using an Archaic Glyphs charge, testing 5 against 2. And we're going to use this Cryptic Writings to be testing 7 against 2. 0, so we get both those clues off that location. Oh, right, I forgot to use the draw from Jake. This is still after you reveal a location or put a location into play. This should have happened first, but I'll just take it now. Oh, and I could have even played that to get that a little higher. Cool. Anyways, we'll do our upkeep on Ursula. Celiano Fragments. Cool. I think I'd probably just play the Magnifying Glass, unless Jake dies and I need to get Witten into play. And then upkeep on Leo, getting me Lonnie. No Doom in the Mythos phase, and encounter cards. If you have at least 3 horror, lose an action, surge. No horror yet. We're going to be searching the deck or discard pile for a cultist enemy and drawing it. So let's take a look who we want to get. We're going to go ahead and pull an Acolyte out of the deck. He spawns with a Doom, and we're going to throw him right here at the Quiet Halls so Leo can just kind of go quietly deal with him. And then Leo Anderson's card is a Hidden Treachery. Cannot commit skill cards to skill tests. Discard Whispers in your head, Dismay from your hand as a double action. Well, it's a little bit unfortunate because we've got that overpower gumming up our hand, but we can just, like, what? Play Lonnie, move, fight? Probably. That's pretty reasonable. Yeah, and we're going to do that first, I think. Rather than go with Ursula, there's no sense in not doing that first. So he'll 1, 2, 3 put Lonnie into play for that action. Forgot about not using that action there. Then he'll move over with the cultist, engaging him. And then he'll get 2 shots, 6 against 3, to beat him up with a fist. That is currently a -1 because he has 1 Doom on him, so he's toast. And that gives us a little bit of freedom on Leo, so we're going to go ahead and take a card draw. And there's the safeguard we were looking for. Great. And that leaves us pretty free with Ursula to do what we want. I think what we'll do is we'll come grab these 2 clues and then head up there. And then we'll take a think if we can get both those clues in one action. So we'll take a move and investigate there. And the investigate will be using the Arcade Glyphs charge, and we will play a magnifying glass from our hand. And we will be investigating 6 against 2 using our ability. Let's see what we get. -2. So we're 4 against 2. We succeed by 2, so we discover an additional clue at our location, which means we pick up both clues. Now we're kind of just rocketing through this scenario, so what we're going to do is we're going to head to the quiet halls in the center as our second action. And then last action, we are also just going to take a card draw to kind of get ready for what's to come. So then that'll be an upkeep for Ursula, picking up a Disc of Insomnia. That's nice to see as well. And then for Leo Anderson, a flashlight. Not super useful, but I mean, if I've got a hand free, I may as well use it, right? Still no Mythos Doom, and we get a Wizard of the Order at any empty location. I'm going to plop him up here at the 3rd level Historical Society, and when an enemy spawns here, we reveal the location. When an investigator at this location controls Mr. Peabody, this location gets -2 Shroud, and it has the Passageway trait. I forgot to mention it, but this also has the Passageway trait. And then for Leo, he gets Led Astray. You must place one of your clues on a cultist enemy or place 1 Doom on the current agenda. And since I don't have a clue to place on a cultist enemy, I have to put a Doom on the agenda. It's one of the few ways you can actually Doom out in this scenario, aside from them, stealing clues and stuff like that. And then a Doom gets placed on the Wizard of the Order at the end of the Mythos phase. Well, we're going to go ahead with Leo first. He's going to scooch over and engage the Wizard of the Order. And then he's going to take a couple of punches, 6 against 4. Ooh, that's an auto fail, so that's a damage back to me with the Retaliate. And then 6 against 4 again. -2, that's 1 damage. Well, we'll use the Beat Cop to finish him off because we don't really have any other ways to defeat him. A little bit of a bummer on that Retaliate, but we haven't spent any health yet this scenario, so that's a pretty acceptable damage outcome. Alright, over to Ursula. We're going to go ahead, because we're walking away a little bit from Leo, we're going to go 1, 2, 3 for a Disc of Insomnia. And then we're going to take a move action, heading over to this Historical Society, which is the Historical Library, which is connected to this Historical Library here. So let's copy that. And it's basically the same location, right? And it has the Passageway trait, and it has the same effect. Great. We'll use Jake to draw a card. And then we will use Ursula's ability to investigate the location. Now we're looking at 4, 5, 6. Let's use this. Let's commit a deduction. And let's commit one of our Wittens. And that will put us at 6, 7, 8 against 3. Let's just do this to get 9 against 3. Yeah, 9 against 3. -0. Okay, great. So we succeed by 6, and we have a deduction, and we already get 1, so we just clear that whole location in 1 action. Which is great, because that means we don't have to use the reaction ability on it to take any horror. And then last action, we may as well just head up to this other Historical Society. Really no harm in doing that, I don't think. Actually, no, I think there might be harm in doing that. Because then it would make it so that a guy that needed to spawn on clues couldn't spawn there, and couldn't spawn there if it needed to be empty as well, I think. I think the Seekers of Carcosa use both, so let's head to the Quiet Halls instead. So we get our upkeep for Ursula, our upkeep for Leo. Nice, good to see Mitch. No Doom on the agenda, and then encounter cards. The Agent of the King! Great, the prey, most clues. Well, it's certainly me, but he spawns on me regardless. So he is Hunter. I could evade him, or I could just deal him 2 damage with this Disc of Insomnia outright. And I'm tempted to do that, but I'm also tempted to keep it for Witten. Not 100% sure on this one. He's not elite. Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to pop the Disc of Insomnia for 2 damage on him, and then I'll get Leo to come over and deal with him in a moment. And for Leo, we get... Ooh, another one. Cannot move more than once each turn. Yuck. That's unfortunate. Well, we can always evade him with Ursula if we need to. Oh, no, that's we can still make that work because Jake lets us move without provoking an attack of opportunity. So we're going to go ahead and move, and that'll bring us up to the quiet halls right there. And then we're going to go ahead and attempt an evade 4 against 2. -2. And we don't fail, so that'll evade him. Up here at the location. And then finally we're going to move over to here. And we'll just do an investigate of 6 against 4. I'm not going to use this burning the midnight oil. I might need those icons more. And I might need to just have cards in hand as well. -2, so that picks up another clue. At this point, I'm pretty sure I'm just flexing on the clue count requirements. So we might advance really shortly. I don't quite remember how this one goes, so I'm trying to get a couple more than I think I need. And then on Leo, we're going to take a move over to our beloved Agent of the King. And then we're going to play a 45 automatic for all of our money. And then we were going to shoot him once for 4, 5, 6, 7 against 4. -3, perfect, that's 2 damage. Placing the Agent of the King firmly in the hex zone. Alright, that's the end of the round. Let's do our upkeep on Ursula, a logical reasoning that isn't particularly useful. And over here on Leo, we get an upkeep, which is another guard dog. Really like a couple of spare actions to be able to delete these. Definitely this one needs to go first. Not being able to move more than once a turn is pretty rough. No Mythos phase, Doom placement, so we get to get our encounter here. If there's a cultist enemy in play with Doom on it, blah blah blah. Search the encounter deck and discard pile for cultist enemy and draw it. We're going to use that to fetch our next Acolyte cultist and shove him over to this Historical Society. That'll give Leo the ability to move over, pop his beat cop on it, and then actually clear one of his weaknesses, or his hidden cards, excuse me. Assuming he doesn't get an enemy as well, which he does not. It's a locked door. The location with the most clues without a locked door, that'll be the location Ursula's standing at. So that's locked now, too. Great. Okay, so we're going to do exactly what I said. Leo's going to go first, scoot over. He's going to pop his beat cop for the last damage on it, defeating the beat cop, but also the cultist. And then he's going to double action away this Whispers in Your Head so that he can start moving more than once per turn. Ursula is going to go ahead and advance the act, I think. We've gone a good long time without actually doing anything related to this, so let's go ahead and spend our 4 clues total and reveal this one. For each revealed Historical Society location, add 2 clues to it to a maximum of its clue value. Oh, great. Right. I forgot about that. Okay, so this is what my board looks like now. I don't think a whole lot's changed, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and advance again. There's my next 4 clues to advance, and we will see. For each Historical Society location, add 2 clues to it to its maximum, up to its maximum of its clue value. Choose an investigator to take control of a set-aside Mr. Peabody asset and put the set-aside hidden library location into play. Mr. Peabody is going to go into play for Leo. The Historical Society here gets an additional 2 clues on it. And the hidden library comes into play. When an enemy is moving, the hidden library gains the passageway trait. And if you don't remember, Mr. Peabody exhausts to choose a location. Until he readies, that location gets -1 shroud and gains the passageway trait. And last but not least, the new act, locations with the passageway trait are connected to one another. Only investigators in the hidden library may spend the requisite number of clues as a group to advance, 3 per investigator. So we're already halfway there. We just need 3 more clues. But given how things have been going, we're likely going to be going for the route where we try to clear the clues off the hidden library and then also go kill the Oathkeeper. So we're in a situation where we've got a lot of actions left on Ursula and not much to do usefully with her. So I think we might be sitting around drawing some cards. So let's do 1. Let's do 2. And let's do 3. Cool. All right. That's our hero's turns. We'll do our upkeep on Ursula, getting our perception. Cool. And then upkeep on Leo, getting another flashlight. Okay. Still no Doom getting placed in the Mythos phase, and let's take a look at our next Mythos phase encounter set. Spend a clue or take 2 damage. Easy. Jake, you're here to die, fella. And Leo Anderson getting a Fanatic. Revealed location with the most clues. Well, let's just have him pop on our location. We move a clue from his location to him, so he goes like that. And that immediately flips to a Doom because of the agenda. And I forgot for a moment that he's not aloof. And so we may as well go ahead with Leo first. Let's just take a shot at him. Be 4, 5, 6 against 3. I cannot commit skill cards to skill tests. I can commit normal cards to skill tests. And I think that just to be certain that this goes off in one action, we're going to commit this guard dog, putting us at 4, 5, 6, 7 against 3. Definitely kills the hell out of him. See ya. And we're going to double action to get rid of this Whispers in my head so that I can commit this Overpower and not be quite so debilitated when the Oathkeeper shows up. Going to need to go find some more weapons in the meantime. So all the locations with Passageway are currently connected to one another, and so I'm going to use Ursula to take a move down to this Historical Society. And then she's going to go ahead and use her Investigate action there with a Burning the Midnight Oil for 2 resources. She's going to commit a deduction to it, so she'll be at 4, 5, 6, 7 against 3. And we'll take a look at the result of that. That's a -4. So we do succeed, and we get 2 clues. And actually, after we successfully investigate, we're going to take 2 horror and to discover an additional clue at this location. And we're going to use that to just kill off Jake Williams here. And so for our second action of the turn, we're going to go ahead and play... do I play Lab Assistant or do I play Witten? Let's play the Lab Assistant. Getting 2 cards into our hand there. Cool, Fieldwork. And then we're going to go ahead and play the Fieldwork. Upkeep for Ursula Downs. Arcane Enlightenment will let me get that Archaic Glyphs into play, to let me get Witten Green into play. It's a bit of a Rube Goldberg machine. I don't think I like how that's working. And then over here with Leo Anderson, we get another 45. Okay, so we've got guns to fight now. Let's try and get Mr. Peabody killed off after we open that location, or after we clear the clues off that location. And then hopefully we can get another beat cop to replace him so that we've got a really nice combat value and tons of ammo. Okay, so Mythos phase in a moment. I just want to take a look at the board. Like, we're doing pretty good. This is the highest clue count, so he might have to run to go fight one of those Seekers of Carcosa. And I do eventually need the Doom to flip over to get the other guy spawned, but I want to get these clues. I want to make sure I have those secured. So the Mythos phase, we get the King's Edict. There are no clues moved by this effect. It gains Surge. And we get the Hunting Shadow. We must spend a clue or take 2 damage. Well, let's just spend a clue. We've got a glut of them right now. And then Leo Anderson gets Led Astray, place a Doom on the current agenda, which is fine. That only puts us at 2 out of 4 Doom. And yeah, it'll flip pretty easily. If an enemy comes into play, we can't deal with it. But we've got a full turn right now to do whatever we need to do. And what I think I want to do is go ahead and use the ability of Mr. Peabody to exhaust him, choosing a location until he readies. That location gets -1 Shroud against the Passageway trait. We're going to use that on the Hidden Library. And then we're going to take a move action to head to the Hidden Library, which is currently connected because we're at a Passageway location. It's a 4 Shroud, 3 per Investigator location, Victory 2. While an enemy is moving, the Hidden Library gains the Passageway trait. So I need to clear all the clues off of that to get those Victory. And then last but not least, I'm actually just going to take a resource with Leo so that we can afford to get this automatic, maybe Mitch eventually, into play. Ursula. Let's go get us some clues. So we're going to take a move into the location, and we're going to use this to take and investigate there as well. It's a 4 Shroud location. I'm going to go ahead and use my field work. Actually, no, I'm not going to use my field work on this investigate. I'm going to commit a perception to this first investigate. And we're going to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 against 4. -2. That puts me 7 against 4, which means I succeed by 2 and I get to draw 2 cards. Cryptic Writings. Do I need the money? Well, I get to see what the other one is first. I just give it Zomna. Okay. I think I will take the money for that then. 1, 2, because I probably want to get that into play. Then after this test ends, we're still in that after you move to a location window, I'll use this to get +2 to my next test here. I'm going to investigate again. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 against 4. That's another clue. And then one more investigate, just 6 against 4. That's another clue. In fact, that whole turn I wasn't against 4 Shroud, I was against 3 Shroud because of Mr. Peabody's effect. Forgot about that. Anyways, let's do our upkeep. There's our upkeep on Ursula, getting a Calling in Favors. And here's our upkeep on Leo, getting a Vicious Blow. Still placing no Doom during the Mythos phase, but we do get a Fanatic, who unfortunately must spawn at this Historical Society, shoving one of these over as a Doom. And then Leo gets a Descent into Madness, which does not fire, and a False Lead, which gains Surge, and a Cult Search. If there's a cultist enemy in play with Doom on it, move all Doom from each cultist enemy to the current agenda. This may cause the current agenda to advance. If there are no cultist enemies in play with Doom on them, search the encounter. Okay, so we move that Doom from him to the agenda, which puts us at 3 out of 4 Doom. This is progressing nicely. It's kind of, it's a little slow, but it's the rate that we want to get it because we want to make sure we get that VP first. And because he doesn't have a Doom like burning on him right now, that's like just lingering, I feel a bit less pressure to just like go kill him this turn. Leo can like take a little bit more setup, so long as he can use Mr. Peabody, move, fight at a later time. So I think to that effect, what I'm going to go ahead and do is not use my ability. I'm going to go ahead and use Mr. Peabody to give our current location -1 Shroud and gains the passageway trait until he readies. And then I'm going to 1, 2, 3 play over him with Mitch Brown. That makes it so that he never readies. Until Mr. Peabody readies is a lingering effect that affects that location, not Mr. Peabody, and so the lingering effect doesn't ever expire. So this is just permanently a -1 Shroud location with the passageway trait. And finally, we're going to go ahead and take a resource so that we can afford to get our other 45 into play. Over here on Ursula, we're going to go ahead and try to do some cool stuff. And by cool stuff, I of course mean investigate 3 times at 6 against 3. So first off, we get 1 clue, next off we get another clue, and next off we get the third and final clue that we need from the location. Putting us at a right silly clue count, but at least we've got all the clues that we need off this location. The Fanatic's not doing anything during the enemy phase, so we'll do our upkeep. That gets us an Unexpected Courage, and our upkeep, which gets us a Stand Together. And we'll take a look at what our Mythos phase pulls out for us. Ooh, a hidden card for Ursula. Cannot trigger fast triggered abilities. Well, that's fine, I believe. Might want to get rid of that, but right now, that's fine. And Leo Anderson gets a False Lead, which surges. We're going to probably start seeing a lot of enemies soon. Yeah, there's an Acolyte. So he's heading to an empty location. I think we're going to head him to this one. Reason being, it's directly connected, and Leo can just kind of walk in and punch him. Which I think is exactly what I'm going to have him do. We're going to go ahead and use Stand Together to give both of us 2 resources. And then he's going to go ahead and move to that location, engaging the Acolyte. And then he's going to go ahead and punch him for 5 against 3. A -2 will fail. Worse than a -2 will fail, but whatever. -1, yeah, he's toast. And then on Ursula, we're going to go ahead and get rid of this Whispers in Your Head, just because it might prove to be a little annoying. And then for our other action, we're going to go ahead and move to this location and use our triggered ability to investigate there. Why not? 8 against. Yep, we get that clue. I really don't need to be getting clues now. In fact, I'm pretty sure at this point I just need to prepare for the final fight, so I may as well get like my Disc of Insomnia out. Let me think, is there anything else that I need? These will help me dodge him. These will help me evade him. I do need to deal with the Man in the Pallid Mask probably at some point. That's something I'm going to want to do. And so I should save my field work magnifying glasses to go get him one time. Once again, this guy's not doing anything in the the encounter enemy phase there. This guy's not doing anything in the enemy phase. Then we get our upkeep. Perception, okay. So we are at hand size, so Let's go ahead and get rid of this archaic glyphs. That's not helping us at all. And then on Leo, we get a safeguard. Okay, cool. So may as well start playing. Well, I guess I don't need those, actually. I really just need guns at this point, and another beat cop. We'll go ahead and do another Mythos phase. The Secret of Carcosa, any empty historical society location. Yeah, so let's move him right there. And then for Leo, we get the Led Astray, which is another doom on the agenda, which may cause it to advance. Which is going to cause it to advance. We get our 4 doom, and this advances. Shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. And ransacking the manor is the same stuff. Okay, so like I said, Ursula is just going to do some stuff to get ready. She's going to go ahead and play Disc of Zomna. I don't remember if that actually helps. I don't think it does it? It's a bit of a bummer. But that's okay. And then we're going to go ahead and play a Calling in Favors to return this Lab Assistant to our hand. And I believe we have less than 9 cards right now, so I'm just going to reveal these for my my next Lab Assistant, which I haven't seen yet. Which will draw me 2 more cards. Oh, I need to shuffle that, actually. Okay, great. Last but not least, we're going to go ahead and move Ursula to the central location in the 2nd floor. Right here, at the Quiet Halls. Then we're going to go ahead for Leo Anderson. He's going to play his other 45 automatic for 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to draw a card, and then he's going to follow her to that central location. Nothing happens during the enemy phase. We see an upkeep over here. We'll get rid of that calling. Oh, no, I can use the agility icons. We'll get rid of that, and we'll get rid of the Arcane Enlightenment. So that's 8 cards. And then we'll do an upkeep over here for Leo, which gets us a Glory at 8 cards as well. We're at 1 Doom out of 4. And we do encounter cards, which is the King's Edict. For each cultist enemy in play, move 1 clue from that enemy's location to that enemy. Until the end of the round, each cultist enemy in play gets +1 fight for each clue and or doom on it. If no clues are moved by this effect, the King's Edict gains Surge. And now suddenly, we're actually at 3 doom. And then over here on Leo, we get Led Astray, which places a doom on the current agenda, and this can cause the current agenda to advance. Which does. So we get 1 there, and we've got 3 more in play. So let's get rid of those and advance this agenda, which goes to spawn the set-aside Possessed Oathspeaker enemy in the entry hall. So now we've got a limited amount of time to defeat this guy. At the beginning of the enemy phase, he must either ready or place a doom on him. And if he's defeated, we get R3. He is a 2 victory enemy with 2 health, 2 damage, 2 horror, a 4, 10, 3. Monster Servitor Elite. Well, we may as well go ahead with Ursula first. She's going to scoot in, and he's going to get engaged with her. And she's going to evade him at 4, 5, 6, 7 with a Eureka against 3. Auto fail. Bummer. And then she's just going to evade him again. 7 against 3. Pass that time. And then Leo Anderson is going to walk in. He's going to take a shot with one of his 45 automatics. Going to go 8 against 4. He's going to put 2 resources on this. Watch this. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8 against 4. Minus 0 currently. So we get our 1, 2, 3, 4 resources back from watch this. We deal 3 damage because of the 45 auto and a vicious blow. Then we'll shoot 1 more time with the 45 automatic, this time with an overpower committed for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Minus 2, and if you fail, well, I don't fail. So that's 5 damage on the Possessed Oathspeaker. Now we're going to have the enemy phase. At the beginning of the enemy phase, we must either ready him or place a doom on him. Now, we have plenty of soak availability right now, so I'm going to go ahead and ready him and put him on Ursula to evade again next turn. He's going to swing for 2 and 2, killing off the lab assistant and doing 1 damage. The rest of the enemies do nothing, and then we get our upkeep phase, which gets us a field work. That'll be good for a commit. and then a Guts, which is not super useful. No Doom during the Doom step, and we get a Cultist Search. There are no cultists in play with Doom on them. So we have to search the encounter deck and discard pile for a cultist enemy and draw it. We're going to go ahead and draw the Wizard of the Order out of the deck, and we're going to pop our Disc of Insomnia to immediately deal 2 damage to him when he spawns. And then over on Leo, we're going to get an Acolyte spawning in an empty location with a Doom on him. He's going to show up at the Quiet Halls just above us, and then this last Doom is going to flip over onto the Seeker of Carcosa, putting us at 2 out of 6 Doom threshold. Ursula is going to go ahead and attempt to evade the Possessed Oath Speaker. She's going to use a Fieldwork to commit to that, so she's 2 up. That's an auto fail. She's going to attempt again, 1 up, and again 1 up. Ah, no. And now the question is, how bad of a dude is Leo Anderson to just take a bunch of shots against poor defenseless Ursula Downs? And he's a bad enough dude. So he's going to be taking 6 against 4. That's a -2, which hits. 6 against 4. That's a +1, which hits. And then 6 against 4. That's a 0, which hits. That's going to do 6 damage to him, so he's at 9, and then 1 more. That's his 10 health. When he's defeated, he's going to be going to the victory display, and we're going to be getting Resolution 3. Welcome to the Hex Zone. The figure collapses to the ground, its warped melting body writhing in agony. It cries out, Daniel. Seek Daniel Chesterfield, the stagehand. He remembers. He is at the Arkham Asylum. He said a bunch of things, and it's really what did us all in. He's at the Arkham Asylum. You can't miss it. Record that you destroyed the Oath Speaker. Any one investigator may choose to add the Tattered Cloak to his or her deck. This card does not count towards that investigator's deck size. I gotta say, I don't really know who to give this to. I think it's pretty likely that Ursula's going to have moments in this campaign where she's at 3 or fewer sanity, given her weakness. And Leo Anderson's pretty easy to get to 3. It's not that hard to just willingly take 3 sanity loss. And he's really easy to survive after he's taken it. So let me know in the comments who you think this should go to, because I'm not playing another scenario until sometime after Saturday. I'll have a good couple days to have a think about it, and yeah, let me know what you think. I'm curious what people think, where people think this should go. I'm leaning more towards Ursula because getting that extra agility would be really useful. But yeah, let me know. We get a victory value equal to the X, which is going to be 5. 2 for the Oath Keeper, 1 for the Agent of the King, and 2 for the Hidden Library, which we fully investigated. Sebastian Moro is already dead, and then we remove our cultist tokens and we add 2 tablet tokens to the bag. I'm pretty happy with how that went. Got a little bit of a lucky streak there on Leo. I think I would have had a bit of a tighter turn at the end there if those shots hadn't all turned up positive, but we definitely had enough room. 1 missed shot would have done 2 to her, and then like that, and then he would have gotten hit for 2 and 2 as well from the Retaliate. So it might have been a little tight, but let's see what we get next. We're getting another Overpower. That's another shot that's pretty likely to hit. So so long as our Mythos phase wasn't too bad afterwards, I think we were pretty safe taking that course of action. Thanks very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next one.